The giants descended from the mountains to sack Akkad. Uthrog led the charge with Svarog and Yagthar at his side. They broke through the city's walls with crushing strength. Svarog smashed the gates in one blow, while Yagthar hurled soldiers like leaves in a storm. Rashid, a captain of the Akkadian Guard, fought bravely but was overwhelmed. Civilians like Naima resisted even with bare hands, hurling stones and stabbing giants in defiance. Gormog nearly killed her before Uthrog halted the slaughter. The giants took their gold and left it Akkad in ashes. Yet among the ruins, the survivors vowed revenge, their grief hardening into resolve. Marduk called upon Nergal, god of death and war, to quell the uprising. Nergal emerged from the underworld clad in void-black armor, wielding a scythe of star-forged shadow. He led divine champions, Asher, Kalai, and Ares, into battle against the giants. The fight was brutal. Asher's spear pierced the sky, Kali burned everything in her path, and Ares slaughtered with cold precision. Svarog and Yagthar answered with overwhelming force. Uthrog personally dueled Nergal, axe clashing against Sai in a thunderous exchange. Despite their might, the giants fell one by one. In a final clash, Nergal defeated Uthrog, but spared his life with a warning: rebel again and face extinction. The gods retreated. The giants, bloodied but alive, returned to their mountains, vowing to grow stronger. In a world without heaven or hell, the Babylonian Empire stood at the center of existence. 7 races ruled the land, each born from cosmic essence. Gods, demons, dragons, humans, giants, monsters, and witches. Each with their leaders, each striving for dominance in a universe shaped by balance, not morality. The gods, led by Marduk, emerged first from the void, their power bound to the fabric of reality. Immortal but not unshakable, they governed from Eridu, intervening only to protect the balance.
We are not tyrants, we are order, but order must be upheld by will, by fire, by divine force, if necessary.
The demons, led by Baal, were born from chaos. Twisted, cunning, and consumed by hatred for the gods, they work to unravel divine control through fear and deception.
Balance, the lie crafted by cowards. Let the world burn and remake itself from ash. That is true freedom.
Drakara Dragon King ruled the skies. Wise and ancient, his kind held secrets older than stone. Yet pride clouded their vision.
The world forgets that we once shaped stars. Let them challenge us. They will taste flame.
Humans, led by Alaric, were fragile but adaptive. Born from divine blood, they built, learned, and survived through sheer will.
We may bleed, we may break, but we rise. That is our power.
The giants, with Uthrog as chief, were strength embodied. Builders and destroyers, their fury rivaled the storms.
The land listens to us. The gods, they fear us, and rightly so.
The monsters, under Gorgon, were chaos incarnate, ancient, primal, and untamed. They were nature's wild revenge.
We are not beasts. We are what came before, and what will remain when all else falls.
Witches, once human, now arcane entities led by Morgana, guarded forbidden knowledge and kept balance through shadowed means.
Power is not evil. It is true. And truth must be wielded by those strong enough to bear it.
This was a world in balance, but never at peace. The Babylonian Empire stood not as ruler, but as stage for an eternal struggle of power, pride, and survival. And as the stars watched, so too did fate wait, for one race to tip the scale. The night carried whispers of ancient fear. In the cold embrace of the mountains, shadows stirred. The giants had watched Akkad for days, waiting for the right moment to strike. Now the time had come.
The humans grow fat in their riches, hiding behind walls of stone. But we are giants. Walls mean nothing. They have forgotten the old ways. We will remind them. Take what is ours by right. Their warriors will fall like leaves. Their screams will echo across the plains. No needless take what we need: gold, food, and jewels. We leave them to remember that the giants walk the earth once more.
The people of Akkad awoke to a nightmare. The earth shook, the sky trembled, and on the horizon the titans of legend came forth.
To arms! The giants are upon us. Defend the city.
The archers released a volley of arrows. The shafts struck, but the giants merely shrugged them off. Uthrog swatted a hail of arrows aside like gnats. With a thunderous roar, Svarog slammed his fist into the gates, shattering them in a single blow. The walls groaned as stone crumbled.
This city is nothing but a plaything.
The giants surge through the broken gates. Chaos erupts. Rashid leads his men in a desperate defense, their blades flashing against the morning light. But it is like striking stone. Yagdar steps forward, a massive club in hand, swinging it through a column of warriors, sending bodies flying.
Is this all you have? Where's your strength?
Rashid dodged a crushing blow, his sword scraping against Yagdar's thick hide. Yagdar laughed and kicked him aside like a ragdoll. Brave though they were, the warriors of Akkad stood no chance. The giants were not men. They were living mountains, and nothing could stand before them. In the marketplace, screams filled the air. Stalls were overturned, goods scattered. Naima, a young woman, stood over the body of her husband Hamid, crushed beneath debris. Her eyes burned with fury.
You will not take everything from us.
She hurled the stone at Gormog, a towering brute. It struck his forehead. He turned, amused, and reached down, plucking her from the ground like a doll.
But foolish. You are nothing but an insect.
Naima, struggling, pulled a dagger hidden in her robes and drove it into Gormog's hand. He roared in pain, dropping her. Before he could strike, Rashid and a band of warriors charged, slashing at his legs. Hope flickered in this darkness, but the giants were relentless. With a single sweep of his arm, Gormog sent the warriors flying. Rashid crashed into a pillar, dazed and broken. Gormog loomed over Naima, raising his foot for a killing blow. Suddenly, a deep voice cut through the chaos.
Enough. We have what we came for. No further bloodshed. Let them remember this day.
The giants gathered their stolen treasures. Akadir, broken and burning, watched in silent agony as the titans departed. In the great hall, the leaders of Akkad gathered. The high priest, Nabu, stood before them, his face etched with sorrow.
The gods have turned their faces from us. We must endure, for we are but mortals against beings of ancient power.
We cannot do nothing. There must be a way to fight back.
Sometimes the greatest strength is in survival, not battle. We live to see another day. That is our victory.
Naima, standing in the shadows, watched. Her grief hardened into something else, resolve.
This is not the end. There will come a time when the giants will know fear. And when that day comes, Akkad will rise again.
By midday, the giants had taken all they could carry. Akkad, once a proud city, lay in ruins, its riches plundered, its people broken. But even in defeat, the humans would remember this day. Uthrog stood, surveying the destruction. Svarog approached, his arms full of spoils.
The city is ours, Uthrog. The humans will not dare oppose us again. They have been humbled, but they are not broken. They will rebuild. They will seek revenge. The little creatures fought hard, but they were no match for us. It was almost too easy. Do not underestimate them. Their strength is not in size, but in cunning. They will remember this. Let them plot. We will crush them again. Enough talk. We have what we came for. We return to the mountains. Let the humans bury their dead.
The people of Akkad emerged from their hiding places, their faces streaked with soot and sorrow. They carried their dead to the square, preparing to bid them farewell. Grief weighed heavy in the air, but beneath it, a spark of determination smoldered.
They will come again, and when they do, what will we have left?
We will rebuild. We must find a way to defend ourselves.
We are but ants beneath their feet. How can we fight them?
We are more than ants. We are human. We have survived worse. The gods have not forsaken us.
Hope, it feels so distant.
We must find hope in each other. That is how we will survive.
As the flames rose higher, so did the resolve of Akkad's people. They had faced the wrath of the giants and suffered dearly, but they were not yet defeated. The battle was over, but the war had just begun. The cries of mortals rose like a storm, a wail of anguish piercing the heavens. Below, the world was in ruin, the giants rampaging unchecked. The sacred Pax, once the foundation of balance, lay shattered. High above, Marduk, supreme god of the divine race, listened, his golden eyes blazing with fury.
The giants have defied us, slaughtered our children, and mocked the sacred laws. I will not stand idle while the world burns.
At Marduk's summons, the gods assembled. Their forms flickered into existence like stars igniting in the void. Ishtar, goddess of love and war, arrived first, her beauty fierce and terrible. Enlil, god of storms, followed, his presence heralded by a roll of thunder. Enki, god of wisdom and water, came next, his gaze deep and knowing. Soon all were present, Shamash, Nabu, Sin, and last, the mighty Tiamat.
The giants have violated the sacred pact. They have slaughtered the mortals, believing themselves beyond our reach. This blasphemy cannot go unpunished.
They have grown bold, unchecked for too long. We must remind them who rules this world.
Their blood must flow as an offering to the heavens.
Revenge alone is not wisdom. If we strike, we must do so with purpose. We must restore balance, not breed chaos.
Then we shall strike with precision, Anzu. Our greatest warrior shall lead the divine army. He will drive them back and remind them of the might of the gods.
The celestial legions gathered, their armor gleaming with the light of the stars. But Anzu, chosen leader, was not among them. Within the great hall, he found a goblet of ambrosia, nectar of the gods, a gift for his impending victory.
A single sip will calm my mind, prepare me for battle. Just one.
He drank deeply, the golden liquid coursing through his veins. Peace filled him, then lethargy, then darkness. He slumped against the wall, lost in intoxication as his army waited in vain. As the sun rose, Marduk stood upon his palace walls, expecting the army to march. But no warriors came. Suspicion turned to dread, and dread to wrath as he descended into the great hall. There lay Anzu, the goblet at his side, his breath deep with drunken slumber.
Anzu.
The hall trembled. Anzu stirred, blinking up at Marduk's blazing form.
Marduk, I can explain.
You were given a sacred task. Because of your failure, the giants still roam free. This is treason against the gods.
Marduk, anger, clouds, judgment. Anzu made a mistake, but he remains one of us.
He has betrayed the divine race. He will pay the price.
With a flick of his wrist, Marduk summoned a bolt of lightning, striking Anzu down. The great warrior's cry echoed through the halls as his form collapsed in a charred heap.
Anzu!
She knelt beside her fallen brother, her body trembling with rage and sorrow.
You have gone too far, Marduk. This is unforgivable.
The gods stood in silence, the weight of Marduk's judgment settling upon them. Tiamat lifted Anzu's body, her grief transforming into something darker, something that would shape the future of the cosmos.
You will regret this, Marduk. I swear on the primordial seas, you will pay.
She turned and left, her form dissolving into the waters of creation, carrying with her the seed of a storm that would one day shake the heavens.
You have won today, but at what cost?
The balance must be maintained, no matter the cost.
But in the distance, beneath the primordial waves, something stirred. And the gods, though victorious, knew in their hearts that a new war was coming, one that would decide the fate of the universe itself. The air in the underworld was heavy with death. At its heart sat Nergal, god of war and the dead, on a throne made of bones. Shadows danced, cries echoed. Yet even here the call of Marduk pierced through.
The giants have broken the order. Anzu has failed. Now it falls to me to restore divine balance. Ashur, lead the charge. No mercy. Kali, bring ruin. Ares, shatter their spirits. We march.
Far above, in the highlands, giants gathered. Uthrog, their leader, stood with Svarog and Yogthar.
The gods will strike, but we are stone-born. We will not bow. Let them bleed. I welcome their wrath.
Suddenly, the sky darkened. The air chilled. A hum built. Nergal had arrived.
Uthrog, surrender, or suffer the underworld's fury.
We do not kneel, we fight.
War erupted. Asher's spear flew true. Kali spun, flame and fury. Ares cut a path of blood. The giants retaliated. Svarog's club shook the mountains. Yagthar's fist crushed all before him. Nergal wove through the camp, his scythe ending lives with each swing. He faced Uthrog, scythe clashed with axe.
You can't win, giant. We are eternal.
Let eternity remember this fight. Will not take it without a fight.
They clashed. Nergal disarmed them.
Bravery won't save you.
He wounded Svarog, still the giant stood. Uthrog challenged Nergal one last time. They collided in a final brutal exchange.
Oh, you fight well, but this ends now.
With a fatal cut, Nergal brought Uthrog to his knees.
Do it. Kill me. But our spirit lives on.
No, you will live. The giants need a leader. Defy us again, and I will not be merciful.
The gods retreated. The giants mourned, but were not broken.
We still stand. Let them think they've won. We'll rise again, not now. We must learn. We wait. Not defeated, but wiser.
Nergal led his warriors back into shadow. The dead whispered. Victory was theirs, but the cost was heavy.
Peace is fleeting. The giants are not done. But today, order holds.